Hello, my three people, and welcome back to the Triple A-Pex Podcast. We are here for episode 14, and yeah, this episode, to be honest, I don't think we have a whole lot to talk about. There hasn't really been anything big in terms of Apex Legends news, so I think we're going to try to talk about a little more stuff that isn't really involved with Apex, but we do have a couple things that are pretty, I wouldn't say significant, but are definitely stuff that's kind of worth talking about. So without further ado, let's get into it, starting with our first topic, which is about a little event that has just started in Apex Legends, which is the Bloodhound Story Event thing. So the devs are doing like this new thing called Apex Chronicles, where like they're gonna have like these little story modes similar to, not exactly similar, but you could compare them to the Broken Ghost quest from season 5. And yeah, you like complete chapters to earn rewards, and it started a few days ago, and it seems interesting. Although when I looked at it, it seemed a little underwhelming, to be honest. But let's hear Keeper's thoughts and maybe try to dwell on this a little further.
So they're adding in-game lore. That's what it is. If you want the rundown, you also get prizes like battle pass levels and like I think there's a gun charm, isn't there?
Yeah,
And then
and
I think you get a
there's
Bloodhound skin and Bloodhound packs.
well,
So
yeah, you get the Bloodhound packs. The epic skin though that you get, like that's not a part of like that's not a reward you get. That gets bought
all
from the
right,
store.
all right. So pretty much it's just in-game lore that you can do. It's like expanding on Bloodhound's like journey, I guess, or like his revenge quest. I don't really know. I haven't completed it, but it's gonna talk about him and or they and Hammond and
Yeah,
just this bird showing up and doing random stuff.
like the
It's
White
pretty cool.
Raven, which is pretty
For
interesting.
real. Yep.
And apparently the White Raven is getting a little angrier at something. I don't really know. I saw a thumbnail for one of Gaming Merchant's videos, and I think in the title he mentioned something about the White Raven getting angry. I don't know, but it seems interesting. Although I do think it's a little underwhelming, though. Have heard that people like gotten easily lost like during like the first chapter of it, because like you got to be able to play as Bloodhound, and you got to search for the White Raven, then you got to follow the tracks of the injured Prowler, and that was teased in the collection event trailer not too long ago, which is pretty interesting. I do know like pretty much the end. I think it's the end of the little Apex Chronicle thing, but I'm not gonna talk about that. But to be honest, the ending of it does seem a little weird. To be honest, I think like it's interesting adding in these little Apex Chronicles things, and I hope they do a little more of this stuff further down the road for like a lot more different characters. Like I especially want to see a Bangalore Apex Chronicles thing. That would be interesting. They could end up doing that with like the next map coming in, which might have something to do with her brother. But yeah, it's interesting, but I think there could be a little more that's done with it. That's just my opinion. When actually kind of bringing up the new map, there seems to be a different name for it than what we originally thought. So it seems like it's going to be called Storm Point, not Tropics, and that was found out from the
Oh,
game files.
interesting. That's a
Yeah,
cool name.
yeah. For some reason, I always thought there'd be like something that has to do with like storms coming to Apex Legends, like either a season name or maybe like a map name. Sounds really cool. And there is actually a storm that's on the map from a picture I saw of the map. So I guess it fits in that regards. And yeah, it seems really interesting. Well, other than that, we have one other cool piece of information to talk about, and this actually came from an Apex streamer or former pro player who we all know as Asu, and he kind of gave us a hint at what the next legend will be like. He basically said that the legend that Wraith will never be played after this legend releases. And I think it does give us a good hint, like to be honest. Because from what it looks like, Ash is going to be the next legend coming into Apex. And from some time ago, we actually had an insider leak of like the phase breach ability, where she phase dashes and leaves a portal behind. Now, I don't know for sure if he's just saying, like, oh, the character is just gonna be better than Wraith, or if the character's gonna have abilities similar to Wraith.
Yep.
It could be either one. But it could be
I'm
Ash's
I'm betting my money on that. I'm betting my money on that it's gonna be like a similar Wraith, like similar Wraith abilities, like you can queue out and just have that, type of fluidity that you have with Wraith, where you're like small, your movement seems fluid. It's gonna be
Yeah.
one of those flashy characters, you know?
Yeah. So that's what Ash could be, like, if she's in the next Legend. It seems like it. Of course, we don't have 100% confirmation, but judging by how we've seen that past Insider leak with the Phase Breach ability, I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually a part of her abilities in the future, but had some sort of tweaking done to it to make it more than just a copy and paste version of Wraiths. And I think we already kind of have seen, like, a similar thing done with characters like that ended up being a little more similar to some. Like, you could kind of use Seer as an example. Like, of course, he is more unique than, like, Bloodhound and Crypto as, like, a scanning legend. And he's pretty much become, like, the main recon legend or the go-to recon legend. And, of course, we have mobility characters, but they have, like, of course, their own separate, unique mobility functions, of course. But I think what the similarity would be like is just like, oh my gosh, I can't speak. Similar abilities that are similar, then that could be better than previous legends. And I think that's going to be the situation with Ash whenever she releases.
Oh yeah, weren't they gonna? I heard something from like House Stream where that they're talking about like the next couple of legends are going to be OP, like Seer.
Yeah,
I'm guessing to like get more players to play Seer, or not Seer, but like those legends, which is kind of
yeah,
weird, but I don't really see how it's gonna work because those things cost money or legend tokens.
yeah. I feel. Well, then we also have the information about what Ash's tactical ability could be, which seems to be some sort of damage boost area of effect thing. Remember Chuck E. Cheese's rug? that's what.
Yes,
That's like what we think is going to be her tactical ability. Is probably some device that gets thrown on the ground and creates an area of effect once it lands. Probably an area where like enemies like take in increased damage, or maybe like it could be a supportive ability to make it so you take in less damage when you're in that area, or it's, or I don't know, like it, or maybe like a little area of effect that when you're inside of it you take damage, but I don't really know. And Ash's passive, we have no clue what it is as of now, apart that
yeah,
could be it could be the
that's
sword
weird.
ability, but I don't really know. Like, we would pretty much only know the tactical and the ultimate of Ash as of now.
You think she might have like a built-in heirloom?
Yeah, like I remember like a long time ago, like one of Rampart's leaked abilities was that you would swap to melee and that you could have like a wrench, I think it was, that would repair structures. So
That'd be pretty cool.
they could implement a similar ability, except it's like a combat ability, but into a certain legend, and that could be with Ash, like making her sword like her passive ability. Like when she swaps to melee, it could probably like give her the advantage of like having increased damage with melee, faster melee attacks, like further lunges. Like I could see that being an interesting passive, especially off drop. And of course, we don't. But really, we don't know what her passive is. It would make sense though, seeing as how her sword was actually in the game files a while back. But we don't 100% know, and it could have been scrapped by now because that was leaked back in season 7, which was almost a year ago. Not exactly, but it was close to a year ago.
Indeed.
Yes, a lot of things could have changed in a year's lifespan. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all we had to talk about Ash and seemingly how she might be the legend that makes Wraith does not played again. Do you think that she will be Wraith's final downfall?
No.
I can
No
kind of
comment.
agree. I think Wraith has always been like a decent legend, and she will continue to be played, but Ash could overtake Wraith, like if her ultimate is the phase breach ability. Like it's
Wraith
possible.
is like Wraith is too iconic of a character for her to just like go down like that. People are
Yeah.
still gonna play her like that, and like especially for all the people who have her heirloom, people are definitely gonna still play her just for that fluidity. And because people center their whole channels around Wraith, like Fade, and like other movement type people like Ace. They center their movement, or not movement, but their like channels when they play Apex. They center it around Wraith because it's like a marketing thing that I'm pretty sure Fade said. He uses Wraith and he plays her because it's a marketing tactic. Because people watch Wraith, people like Wraith. You know what I mean? It's like the most iconic character, and that people use it because that's like the most iconic character in the game. Everybody knows who that is. We're not trying to
Yeah.
watch Gibraltar gameplay, like that's boring. We're trying to watch people go all up in each other's face and pin them down, you know. So that's why.
Yeah,
That's
Wraith
why I don't think she'll get down.
Wraith arguably like is yeah, she's one of the most iconic characters, and she's still really good in her own respective right. Like she obviously isn't like the number one legend in the game anymore, because obviously I think Octane has overtaken the number one spot as characters. But Wraith is still a really good character, and even with like her hitbox nerf and whatever, like she's still a smaller character, and people like using her. And I know, and there's this and I remember the Gaming Merchant did like this poll of like why people main Wraith, and they said it was because like they feel faster when playing Wraith, and I think that's because of like she has a smaller character model, so she feels faster, and could probably make people feel a
Yeah,
little more confident with movement.
for real,
For real. And to be honest, I don't know
for
about
real.
everyone else, but Wraith is kind of a fun legend to play.
Yeah, I think she's kind of fun,
I
especially
mean,
with her ultimate.
yeah. I main Wraith for quite some time. I can say she's a pretty fun legend to use, but you probably will get burnt out of playing Wraith eventually and want to switch to a different character. But she's still fun in her own respective right.
Yeah, what do you think is like? What do you think is the most funnest legends in the game? Like top five funnest legends?
Octane, Pathfinder, who else? I think Seer's pretty fun as well. And who else? I think Wraith is still is one of the top five funnest legends to play, and I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, and Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie is fun to use as well.
Yeah, my top five would probably be Octane, Pathfinder, Wraith, Valkyrie, and Bangalore. Just because the speed boost, like, it's pretty fun to just run around your enemies,
Oh yeah, I can
like
agree.
around cover.
Bangalore is fun to play, and their passive can make her really fun to play as well.
Yeah, like her passive is so underrated. Like it's so good. Like I was playing arenas one time, and you know that map with the Crash Mirage ship. I
Yeah.
was like, I was pretty much running around the cover on the backside. It was so fun. They were like, I was playing against a rampart, and I just kept running around with my speed boost because they kept trying to shoot at me. It was so fun. I was just toying with them. Like I feel like Bangalore is so underrated. I mean, she's really balanced. She's not underpowered. I mean, I think her ultimate should get a little tweak, but
Mhm.
she's really fun just because of her passive. And
Yeah.
I think a little change, like a little tweak for her tactical should be there, kind of like I had this idea. I'm pretty sure you heard it before, where it was like tactical on a electric smoke,
Oh yeah,
from
I've heard of that.
Control. Yeah, I kind of thought of that, but people were like that would be OP, and I kind of think the same thing that would be OP.
Yeah, it
But I
could be
think it
really
should.
powerful.
But I think instead of it doing damage, it should just negate abilities. Like you can't use abilities inside the smoke, or like you at least
Ooh,
can't get scanned in the smoke. You know what I mean?
that would be crazy. I
Like that would be
do
better.
agree with like when you're in the smoke, you're resistant to being scanned, but I don't necessarily
Yeah.
agree with the electric smoke. I think the making it so like you can't get scanned in the smoke is a great idea, to be honest.
Yeah. I think they should do something like that, just a little minor tweak. I mean, realistically, or like technically, that's not minor at all. That's actually a really big change. But
Yeah.
I would think it would make third partying a lot more harder, and it make her smokes a lot more useful than just like using it to run away
Definitely.
and like smoke a cover. And yeah,
And
I think it would be a lot more fun. I think she would be a lot more viable in rank, don't you think?
yeah, I think that would definitely make her a lot more viable in ranked, like with smoke that you can't scan through. Like that's just insane. And no one will know
Yeah, I
if
think
someone's in the smoke or not, which is really useful.
the only thing that should be able to go through the smoke is probably like the digi threat and like you know when you have like that digi threat built in on your Bloodhound ultimate. I think
Yeah.
that should also be able to see through. And
Yeah.
I was thinking like Seer's ultimate, but I don't know. And
Hmm.
Crypto's drone possibly. No, not Crypto's drone. No, I take that back. I just have like a bunch of legends changes that they should probably implement into the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
I
should
feel
definitely talk about that.
I feel like I still kind of want Bangalore's ultimate to be a little more like a minefield, where like they all come down, but when you walk into them, they all get set off like that, because that would make her a lot more scary to like play against in
I
one's
think
way.
okay, real like if you think about it, that would be so good in ranked. Like that would be so good, like especially in like King's Canyon when there's so much chokes and stuff like that, where you can like close that whole thing down. Like if she had her ultimate, like you can go through a charge tower on KC ranked. That'd be so OP if you think about it. Like you could close down a whole section if there's mines. I mean, I think you should be able to blow them up by shooting at them. But if you run through it, like that'd be insane. Like that could
Yeah,
close down a whole area. Imagine that in game. Oh my god, that'd be good. That'd be so fun to use.
it
Or
would
not.
be
I mean, I don't know if it'd be
ridiculous.
that fun. If you think about it, I don't think it would be that fun, just because it's not. Like there's not that much destruction. Like you know what I mean? Like there's not that much explosives because they could just go out the way.
Yeah,
But but I think it would be a lot more. I think it would make it a lot more viable. I think the more reasonable change would be like for her not to be scanned through or smoke. That's about it. Like, and then maybe tweak it to where you take like the time between your ultimate explodes once it hits the ground. I think that should be tweaked to be a little faster, so you can get more use out of it.
yeah,
I feel like that would make her a lot more scarier because enemies are trying to move out the way. Like I think Shiv, or not Shiv, but like someone was speaking on Bangalore's like abilities. Like if they were to tweak that, it would kind of remove that ability is used to like cover yourself. But if you think about it, that would make her a lot more scarier because like you could still do that. You could still do the same thing. I'm not saying it should be astronomically faster, but like faster enough to where you can notice a small difference. But if you can like if it goes off faster, you would get a lot more use out of it. Like it would punish players for not moving quicker,
yeah.
which I think that would be really cool. What are other legends you think we should get a change or like a minor tweak to their kit?
I can't really think of any too many legends as of now. Like we've obviously spoken about like Crypto and Watson needing certain changes like further down the road, and I think we have also talked about Fuse needing like some sort of minor change as well.
Yeah,
So I don't really think there's
like
like too much we need to talk about in terms of this, but yeah, there are some legends that for sure need some tweaking. Hopefully, when
yeah.
Watson gets her heirloom, which should be in season 11, like the Walmart scanner electric thing, like that. Hopefully, hopefully we get a buff for Watson along with that, because that's what they've been pretty much doing now, is like bringing in heirlooms for legends that need buffs and adding buffs with the legend. They did that with Revenant and Rampart so far. And Rampart, holy she got a pretty good buff. I think the turret buff was perfect, to be honest. Like, what do you think about it?
Rampart's buff.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's really good. I think it's actually pretty balanced to be honest. Like it's not that bad. people are like saying that it's OP. I mean, like, yeah, maybe if you're a pro player, but like, and you have god tier aim, like, and god tier recoil control, but like, once that kick up happens, you just don't expect it, to be honest, when you're using Sheila Mobile.
I feel
You know what I
like,
mean?
yeah, I feel like it's made her a lot more of a fun legend to play, and it for sure like makes it so she can push with the team, like which is what they intended it to be. So Rampart has for sure like went up the ranks a little more, and I could probably say that she's probably a B tier legend now. Wait, I can't exactly remember my tier list. I might have actually put her in B
Yeah,
tier. I maybe high B tier, borderline A. But I don't know. Rampart has
yeah.
become a pretty decent legend now. I don't know what her pick rate is though, as of now. Obviously, I think like things would have settled to a different spot now that like the collection event has ended and it's been like a few weeks now since she's gotten that buff. So her pick rate probably has went a little bit down. There was a lot of people playing her though, like when the update went live because of that buff. People wanted to try it out, and obviously it most likely did bring a lot more people into playing Rampart. So yeah, I think your pick rate might have gotten higher, but we're gonna have to
Definitely.
see what the statistics are later on. I butchered that word before, and I butchered it again. But anyways, I just thought of this when we were talking about like Bangalore smoke, like not being able to be scanned through. If there was ever a legend with like a cloaking ability, do you think that when the cloaked legend gets scanned, it should reveal them, or do you think cloaking should make a legend like resistant from being scanned?
Um, I guess it depends because, oh my god, fucking Eric. Okay. I think it honestly depends because, if you think about it, like, I don't know, that's hard to do. Because if it's like, I don't want to say it removes the point of cloaking. I would like to say that it would give them a reason to cloak. Like, if it, like, I don't know, that's so hard to, like, it's hard to do.
Yeah, this was something I talked about in a video from a while before. It was actually my legend concept about about a character called Shade, and the tactical I gave him was cloaking, and I was talking about in that video, like should like a cloaked legend have the ability to just not be scanned when they're cloaked, or should they be scanned when they're cloaked? And it is a little tough to think about. Okay, like what we were saying, like it does give you a pretty good reason to cloak yourself, like if you're like you're about to get scanned, but it's also kind of a way of balancing if you do get scanned when you're cloaked. So it's a tough thing to think about. But it would,
Yeah, I think it would be kind of OP, like a legend that could that could go invisible.
yeah, especially if that character had no like audible footsteps. That would just be,
Oh, that would be so OP.
yep, that would be scary, scary as hell. And along with not
Um,
being able to scan when cloaked, like that's just too good of a combo of abilities. Is there anything else you were gonna say?
um, I think okay, Titanfall cloak. Do you think it would be like that?
Yeah, it would be similar to that, and like of course, like your outline would be seen with like a cloaking ability, so you probably wouldn't. Yeah, the enemies would see like your outline, kind of similar to how you would see like the enemy's outline a little bit in Titanfall 2. But there was also the thought of possibility, like maybe like a minor speed boost with a cloaking ability, like you cloak and then you're like a little bit faster. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but how would you feel about like that type of
Oh,
addition?
you want to know what I think? I think if they were to add a cloaking legend, they should make it to where you don't have your gun out and you're completely invisible. You can make footsteps. You shouldn't get like scanned, and it takes a while for like the animation. Like it takes a while for you to take out your gun. but once you take out your gun, you like get uncloaked, and it makes a sound. You know what I mean? Like, and you move
Oh,
faster a little bit,
that would
like something
be
like that, just to
interesting.
balance it,
I
like to
feel
balance
like
it a little bit.
I feel like if you shot your gun, that's when you should get decloaked or did some sort of attack,
No,
like
that's
a
too OP.
grenade.
That's way too OP.
No, like that would decloak you if you shot a weapon or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's too OP. Like, you could just sneak behind someone and unload a clip. Like, that's way too powerful.
Hmm.
Um, I think like once you pull out your gun, like it should make a noise, and then it should give the enemy enough time to kind of react, I guess, or
Hmm.
something.
That
Like
would be
phase out or
interesting.
something.
I
Yeah,
don't know how
I wonder what
exactly.
their
I don't know how to
I
exactly
wonder
feel
what their
about that
ultimate
yet.
would be. What would
Ultimate.
you think their ultimate would be?
For like a cloaking legend, I did have the idea of maybe like a smoke screen where you could like throw down a grenade that creates a smoke screen, and you and like your teammates can go through it to cloak yourselves.
I would think like an area effect thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. Like similar to a Bangalore smoke, you throw it down, it smokes up, then you go in there and with your teammates and cloak yourselves.
Would you think like maybe a good ultimate like for Ash? Actually, I don't know about Ash, but like a Titanfall-esque character would be electric smoke.
Ooh, well, Titans did have the ability to deploy electric smoke like once, like if there was like a pilot rodeoing them, so that'd be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would be cool just having that electric smoke introduced in the game instead of just regular smoke.
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't. I think this would be way too overpowered for a passive. But what if like, what if like there was a character like if they got shot, like they would like there would be like some sort of effect that happens that like that could hurt the enemies. Like for example, like in Timefall, like again back to the rodeoing and like the Titans being able to deploy electric smoke. Like if a character was like in a certain radius from you, like how would that be like having the ability to actually deploy electric smoke? Like if their character like shot yours in a certain radius.
Uh, bro, I think they should they should add Titans. That'd be awesome.
That would be insanity.
That'd be so fun. They should add like a small map, like a small like like an arenas map, but the zone doesn't close, and that everybody gets Titans. They have like their ultimate charges. Their ultimate charges are the same, kind of like Titanfall. Like and it depends on how much kills you get,
Yeah.
and you can call down your Titan. You can do stuff. That'd be so awesome. I'm still waiting for like Titanfall 3 where they introduce new Titans.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
there was like I forgot what gaming thing when that actually leaked it, but something about Titanfall 3 was listed on it. So I don't know if Titanfall 3 is in the works or not. That could have been faked, but I don't know. I want to say Titanfall 3 at some point. Whether the developers want to make the game or not, like I want to see Titanfall 3. It would be really cool.
but
What was that?
did you even hear me?
I did not know what you said. All I heard was whispering and something. I don't really know. Well, kind of talking about like the game mode you thought of with like Titans or whatever. I don't know. Well, it doesn't exactly relate to that, but mobile Apex Legends has gotten team deathmatch mode on it for its new beta testing.
Bro, I swear to God, mobile is God tier compared to console or PC. Bro.
As it seems, yep,
And
they're
can't you like do
progressing.
practice stuff?
Yeah, they have a better firing range as well. Like you can have infinite ammo. It was teased by Josh Medina, I think, that we could be getting an infinite ammo feature in the firing range soon. So that'll be cool. But I really want Team Deathmatch now that it's been implemented in Apex Mobile. Like we have fallen more
Yes.
behind on PC and console. Like we deserve to have this soon. Like of course we have the Team Deathmatch stuff in the game files, and that
For
will
real.
be coming in the future. I don't know if it's gonna come in season 11, but it could come out in season 12 or 13, which will be really cool. And
Almost.
Amogus.
Yes.
And Also, the mobile firing range has like moving targets, which is crazy as well.
Yeah,
Like we should have that in
and
the
can't you
game.
go in third person mode?
Yeah, it has third and first person mode
Yeah,
in
like
mobile.
that's what the heck.
Like we are missing out. Yeah, mobile is getting a lot of love. Hopefully, the developers or hope Respawn like is able to see what's been going on with mobile and will implement a lot of that stuff into the future. But it does seem like that will be happening in the future, which is cool, which is nice. The question is why couldn't they done it sooner?
I know, right?
Yeah, I think
What?
I don't know, but I feel like Apex Legends was kind of rushed to be released. I don't really know.
Oh, man. Is that what you think? Dang.
It could be because like Apex
Wow.
Legends.
Imagine. I couldn't imagine Apex coming out later than it should have. Like, imagine if it came out months later. That would change the timeline drastically.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean
that would change my life.
Apex Legends like came out like abruptly, and there wasn't much known about it before. It just was came out and it attracted a lot of different players, like a million or so players, which is pretty crazy. And obviously, we have continued to grow the game to a bigger place, and we hit like 100 million players like a couple of seasons ago, or 100 million accounts. I should probably say because there are probably Smurf accounts involved in the mix. But yeah, it's pretty insane, and Apex Legends is going to hopefully continue to grow as a game. It's a big process. We gotta trust it, and hopefully there's gonna be some good stuff. And I think the future is gonna look pretty interesting. Like season 11 seems to be a really big season. Again, with the Stormpoint map coming in, Ash being the possible legend. I don't know what the new weapon could be. There's actually people saying that there might not even be a new weapon next season. What? Who
Man,
knows?
Rampage LMG. Car.
Yeah, the Car SMG and like the Hailstorm LMG, I think would be the most likely candidates for the next weapon. I don't know about the EPG though. Like that really hasn't been talked about in like quite some time, and there's not really much mention of it in the files. Like, of course, we know it's being tested, but we don't know when it's going to be releasing. Or, I don't. I think I'm looking too deep into this, but like the EPG, like we saw it in the season 5, in one of the season 5 battle pass skin video things. And season 5 was also the same season we were introduced to Ash in the Broken Ghost quest. Possible connection there? I don't know.
For real.
Yeah, but that's probably just me looking too deep into it. But also, both are Titanfall related, so I think it would kind of make sense to bring in a Titanfall related character with a Titanfall related weapon. I don't know. It just seems really cool. And yeah, this podcast went on for a decent amount of time. It was for sure better than the last one. Like we have one of our hosts here, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, Vision didn't make it, but yeah, it was still interesting nonetheless. And sorry if I'm speaking a little bit quieter. Well, I think I'm speaking the normal volume, but I have a little bit of a cold right now, so I can't really try to overdo anything. But yeah, this was an alright episode. We talked about the Bloodhound story thing. We talked about like Ash, like probably being the legend that quote unquote makes people never want to play Wraith again. I don't know. We also talked about Bangalore and some tweaks that could happen with like her kit. Our top 5 legends that we think are like the most fun. And what else? Oh, we were just talking about mobile. Apex as well with Team Deathmatch, its firing range, whatever. And yeah. And I think that's going to be all for episode 14 of the Triple A-Pex Podcast. To the YouTube audience, I hope you did enjoy, and if you did enjoy, be sure to give it a like, and if you're brand new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell icon so you can get notified from whenever I upload a new video. Also, be sure to join the Discord server, the link will be in the description below, and if you want to listen to the podcast live on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then join the Discord server. Once again, link in the description. Also have a Guilded server, so if you have Guilded and are looking for any servers to join on there, I'll leave a link to that in the description too. And yeah, be sure to follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheOnlyX, and follow my Instagram. And that's going to be all for Triple A-Pex Podcast, episode 14. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
No, bye. Okay.